Well, technical problems meant that the first part of the briefing from the Health Secretary for England, Matt Hancock, was not broadcast, but we can bring that to you now.
The government is working through our action plan, which aims to save as many lives as possible by slowing the spread of the virus, protecting the NHS and preventing it from being overwhelmed. Our response is built upon the bedrock of the best possible scientific and medical advice so that we can take the right steps at the right time. First, by slowing the spread of the virus across our society. And second, by boosting the capacity of the NHS so that we can always care for those who fall sick. Sadly, coronavirus continues to spread. I can report that through the government's ongoing monitoring and testing programme, according to the latest figures, 195,524 people have now been tested for the virus, and 47,806 have been tested positive. Across the UK, the number of people admitted to hospital with coronavirus symptoms is now 16,702. And of those who've contracted the virus, 4,934 have sadly died. We mourn their passing, and we offer our profound sympathies to their families and friends. I've lost two people that I was fond of, so I understand what a difficult time this is for the country. This evening, Her Majesty the Queen will give a rare formal address to the nation. And I know that we'll all be watching and listening to see and hear what she has to say on behalf of us all. I understand that people are yearning to know how long this will all last. And the answer is entirely dependent on how much people follow the rules on social distancing. Following these rules is mission critical if we're to protect the NHS, slow the spread, and give the NHS time to expand capacity and so save lives. The more people follow the rules, then the faster we will all be through it. So I say this to the small minority of people who are breaking the rules or pushing the boundaries. You're risking your own life and the lives of others, and you're making it harder for us all. We've included exercise as one of the things that you can leave your house to do, because exercise is good for our physical and our mental health. But please do not bend or break this rule. We can't rule out further steps, but I don't want anyone to think that any changes to the social distancing rules are imminent, because the vast majority are following the rules. And to you, to all those at home, to all those who are following the rules, I want to say thank you on behalf of us all, and especially on behalf of the doctors, nurses, and other colleagues who put their lives on the line to care for you in the NHS. As well as working to slow the spread, of course, we are increasing the capacity of the NHS. Last week we saw the completion of the Nightingale Hospital in East London. It was planned and constructed and fully staffed within 9 days. It was humbling to see the NHS, the military, and everyone involved in its construction pulling together in this time of need. And there are many more Nightingales to come across our entire United Kingdom, including Harrogate, Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow, Belfast, and Cardiff. These new hospitals are on top of the expansion in critical care across the NHS. There are currently over 2,336 spare critical care beds for the NHS in England, and over 9,000 ventilators are now available to NHS coronavirus patients across the country, thanks to the national effort to ramp up capacity. 300 new ventilators arrived this weekend from China, and we've seen UK manufacturers working at pace to develop new ones. Of course, hospitals and ventilators are critical, but our NHS is nothing without the people who work there. And it's been so encouraging to see over 27,000 former healthcare professionals signing up to return to the NHS front line. I want to say a great big thank you to each and every one of you. Welcome back, and I hope that many more will sign up in the weeks ahead. This weekend, we also have launched our latest technology, a new coronavirus status checker. It asks people who currently have coronavirus symptoms to share their experiences to help us in our fight against the virus. And it'll help make use of this information, which will in turn help us to understand the disease. So we can, for instance, allocate resources like oxygen and ventilators and additional staff to where they're needed most. Please do your bit if you currently have symptoms by going to www.nhs.uk/status checker. Because the more people who use it, then the better informed our response will be. And the smart use of data like this and digital technologies is one of the strongest bulwarks that we have against coronavirus. Because new technologies can help us to meet these new threats and allow us to gain the understanding and the insight that we need to defeat this virus once and for all. Technology is one piece of the jigsaw and an important piece, but ultimately the strongest weapon in our arsenal is if we join together in tough times and follow the rules that have been put in place. I, like many of you, have young children at home, so I know what a challenge this can be for families. And I really understand how much everyone wants to enjoy the sunny weather. But the cruel thing about coronavirus is that it thrives on social contact and the human bonds that bring so much to life. So we must show our resolve. All the things that we miss right now, going to the pub for a pint with friends or sitting in the park with a book or hugging a grandchild, we will have these moments again, and they'll mean even more to us. But until then, the only way to protect yourselves, your loved ones, and your community is to stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.